Okay, boys and girls, lads and lassies, ladies and germs. In how many languages can you say this really frickin' sucks? Um, this is our deck face. It was black, it was lettered, and it was in the midst of being cleared when the entire face decided to go bloop and crinkle up on me. So I hope we've corrected what caused that, however. We're redoing the face. Now, the guys that are buying these radios or having these radios built understand that this is not an assembly line. Each one of these radios is individually hand built and design changes along the way. However, this isn't even a design change. This is just an out and out fuck up, is what we're going to call it. Paint crinkled on us. So we're back down to bare primer today. It's Monday morning. I don't even know what date it is now. I don't care. It's after Christmas. And this guy's been waiting forever to get this radio. Um, and I'm sure he's aggravated because I am. Um, I really wanted to have this thing delivered today, and instead I'm repainting the face. We've already got new decals made. We've got a whole different line of paints that we're going to paint it with, and it just doesn't matter why. All that matters is we got to redo it. So today I will be laying coats on this. I am not going to document each coat because it's just stupid. This is where we're at this morning. It's been stripped, it's been sanitized, it's been sealed with a clear sealant, and now we're going to go back over it with a light coat of scratch filler primer, just like a car. And when we're done, this will have a nice, even, hopefully sealed primer base, and we're going to hit this today. And then while in between coats and whatnot, I mean, look at this. And further on in this video, we're going to show you the ones that gave us just as much aggravation as this and how they came out. So, there are guys that are going, man, it's taking a long time to do it, man, it's taking, especially the owner. But the owner's a smart one because he gets this when it's done. And that's the bottom line. You don't dream up stuff like this overnight and build it in 5 minutes. You don't whip up a 2-tube 300-watt DAC in 5 minutes. It doesn't happen. However, this one has taken a little bit longer than even I anticipated. So we're back at it. Like I said, for the money these guys are paying, just having it perform the way I make radios perform is not enough. I want stuff to look the way it's supposed to look. Okay. Case in point is my 2000. Everything. Everything. I try to keep everything, even in my personal stuff. And we've got all kinds of craziness on this. I've got split clarifiers, echo board, channels, but you don't see a million holes drilled in that radio. This is just an example of keep one clean. This is a full blown Super Duty 2. This is mine. These radios get a lot more work. These are getting built from nothing. If you're watching this video, then you're on the page of my website where you can go up and look at all the work's been done on this radio. This is one part of a massive puzzle, and it's one more hurdle I'm going to have to get over. So today I'm going to be refinishing this again, and in between coats I'm going to go back on some of the other jobs just because it's the end of the year. I'm slowing down a little bit today, but this radio has to be done. So we're going to truck along on this face, and I'm going to play with my media stuff, and we're going to give you kind of like a year, kind of this cool stuff we did pull off this year and managed to get it done before the year ended. I think we're still going to get this one too before New Year's, but not really what we agreed to. He's supposed to have this radio already. So it's time for me to get back after it and do what I do. And you guys check out the rest of this video. Hope everybody had a good Christmas. Better than mine. I got a crinkled up face from Santa Claus. So, as for that, all I can say is, Dear Santa, I was naughty this year and it was worth it, you fat judgmental bastard. See you guys on New Year's, hopefully. All right, boys and girls. We've actually gotten back into this one for a second time. We had some power problems here at the shop. This started life off as a Tram D300, which was basically a wannabe 2000. It was a Cobra chassis. And when he bought it and sent it to me, it was fried. So we decided to build him a radio that's going to last a very, very long time. So we gutted the Tram D300 and we kept his Tram badge in there, but we redid the front of the face in this really nice wood grain and put Cobra knobs on it, putting in a 148 GTL chassis with the switches for the channels, 30 amp power supply, strapping, 6-digit counter, and our trusty Super Duty module on the bottom. So the meters, everything's been changed on this. And all the meters are functional, as you can see. If we go over here to calibrate, we can calibrate our SWR meter, flip it to SWR, look at that, works just fine. So now you can watch his SWRs and everything all in one shot. The radio, barefoot, and when I say barefoot, I mean the Super Duty board's not on. We have about 1/4 watt dead key. This is going to make you mad. 16 watts from a less than a watt dead key. Then over here, we just flip this guy over here. Just short of 70 from 5. Audio 1 2. Audio 1 2. Check. All our meters are still functioning nice and neat. He has all the basic functions. We made all the lettering for it. This came out to be, now when he wants to turn his Super Duty on, he'll have one of these knobs on here. He'll just turn that to the left. Boom, 70 watts. If this is in any other position, he's the same power as a hopped up 2000. So this is for Marshall in Alabama, one of my very first and very best customers. He said, 409, do what you do. And this is what we did for him. So Marshall, check this video out, brother. If there's anything about that now, we don't have the mic jack put in yet. We're changing that. That's gonna be a 4-pin, and there will be a knob on here, you know, to match the rest of these guys. We're gonna clean this guy up. There's still some aligning to do, but the bottom line is, it's basically done. We're gonna tie up some wires. You know what I mean? We're gonna make sure the power supply is good and grounded. Okay. As always, on the bottom, all you see is our Super Duty heatsink. And he's got everything that the 148 had, minus whatever was on the switches that nobody uses anyway. You know, volume, squelch, RF gain, SWR calibrate. Calibrate SWR switch with an empty space in case he wants to do something else. Sidebands. Bam. Lower sideband, upper sideband, which still have to be aligned. Voice lock works like a charm. Take you all over the place. Okay. And trusty mic gain, and this will be labeled our Super Duty off and on. So there we go. Let's take one more look at that. Mm. 70 watts all day long. Marshall, if you don't want it, I'll keep it. All right, guys, we'll see you. 7-3s. All right, everybody. How you doing? Mr. 409, Mr. Triple Nickel here. My partner. We're getting ready to do a DAC 9. And this is pretty much the way we got it. I mean, I've played with it a little bit on some other chassis, but it was basically an empty case when we got it. So what we're starting with is a stock, what was a stock DAC 9, got gutted. Somebody tried to put a 29 chassis in it. I tried to finish it for him, ended up buying the radio because the chassis they sent with the radio was garbage. So we just bought the damn thing. Now we're going to put a new Uniden PC76 board in here with a 30 amp power supply and probably one of our add-on power modules. But this will be a straight AM as a DAC 9 was intended to be. A lot of guys will take these DAC 9s and they'll put a sideband chassis in them and, you know, make it like a 10. But there's really nowhere, like if you look at a 10, we've got a 10 over here on this shelf. You'll notice the 10's got the windows for all the mode lights and whatnot. Well, the 9 does not have that. So really, sideband on this radio, unless you're going to cut the counter into the face and destroy the originality of the DAC 9 layout, you really got to put a counter on top and all kinds of, we're going to try to keep this one. If you bought a DAC 9, you're going to get a DAC 9. That's what this radio is going to be when it's done. Only, like I said, it's going to be closer to an 80, 90 watt PEP with a nice swing kit, maybe some channels. But this is going to be a straight AM radio, as a DAC 9 was intended to be. So Mr. Nichols is going to get started on this one. We're going to take pictures along the way, and you guys can keep an eye on it. We're going to put it on the website today. Or tomorrow. But here she goes, the first of 2 DACs to get redone. That's 409 Radio Shop. Keep your eyes peeled. This one's going to be for sale. Thanks, guys. 7-3s. All right, boys and girls. Here we go. While we still have a couple of bugs to work out, here is the DAC 9 we've been rebuilding. And a little quick overview. There's a 30 amp power supply, newly redone face, which still needs a few trimmings and odds and ends. A PC76 chassis, and our transformer that runs our 6LQ6 tube that we're using for a final. Now the radio, this is kind of a big radio, so the radio, I got to kind of squeeze around here. There's a 100 watt slug. The radio with the amp on standby gives us a nice 35 watts of peak swing. But now, this 85 watts out of our tube. For those who sent me the messages saying you'll never get that to work, kiss my ass, because it does work just fine. So there it is. We've got a little bit of a keying issue. This is we get nickel a couple days a week, so today and tomorrow we got them. We just wanted to post this to say, you know what, it's almost done. All the hard stuff's done. The tube is in and it works. There's a transformer for the tube. And then, here. That is how the bottom of a DAC should have looked from the factory when you stab a tube in one. That's nice work. I don't care what anybody says. It's nice stuff right there. Hand wound chokes, hand wound coils, all hand wired. So there we go, boys and girls. And that's a weak tube we got in here banging 85 watts. So I'm still guessing 100 watts when we're done. Plus you got to remember, this tube really wants about 900 volts. We're only giving this thing 700 volts. And there's a reason for that. I don't want this thing to rail so hard that it splatters or sounds terrible or shortens the life of the tube. I want this thing to run and run and run and run. So here's our quick overview. A little quick check-in for you guys that are eyeballing this thing. It's working beautifully so far. We had a little bit of an audio problem with it this week, but we solved that. And now it's just a matter of putting some more switches in, adding a relay to solve our keying problem, getting a good fresh tube for it, and seeing who's going to reach in their pocket and get it. We'll post another one tomorrow, see what we get done with it tomorrow. 7-3s. Alright, well, I'm doing here. This is the deck without the tube on. We got the front all lettered. So this is just the barefoot Dakalac right now. 2530 on swing. What kind of signal reading you got on that?
Ooh, that about you. It sounds like you're yelling into the mic, bud.
Okay, this. All right, what is your signal reading right now?
Bring it back, bud.
Turn the mic gain down a little bit so I'm not beating you up there. That's Barefoot Radio.
Yeah, it's hitting me 9, swinging to about 17.
All right. It's over 100 watts with the tube. That's with the tube power engaged. Should be a little more better.
Yeah, it was about 16 going to 20.
16 going to 20. All right. What's the audio sound like? Good and clear?
Which audio sounds better? And give me a 5 count on each.
No. I said it's. I know it's still too loud because I got the mic gain turned halfway down.
Yeah, right, Joe.
All right. Is that better?
Right, Joe.
All right. The audio clear?
Yes, sir.
Well, we're a little close, but you're the only one I can catch on here, so. All right. It's all functional.
Right, Joe, on that, buddy. No doubt about it. Sounding good. How many times?
Well, this is the 10. This one's. I just got done doing the face on it and put the tube in it.
Oh, okay. No doubt. Yeah, it's working good.
Yep. It's doing just fine. All right, buddy. I'll catch you in a short.
Right, Joe.
Okay. It's really early. We just went and got this one out of the paint booth. We're going to start lettering it. Uh-huh. Lettering will come out nice. Alright. Here's our module pretty much put together. Got our couple trinkets back. It's in there still. Put our RG 213 on here. Our RG 316. Our little guys. RG 316s. Some power cables. A couple other electronic trinkets. But we've got our direct injection relays in. Our header panel on top. It's all done. So that's what's getting ready to land in this Excalibur before long. In between all the other stuff we're getting done. One piece at a time. Marshall, it's getting there, dude. Now, never mind what we've put inside this radio. That is not a sticker finish. That is 6 coats of clear and base coat and block sanding. That sub panel in there is the same way. It was stripped, relettered. Top is nice and perfect now. Got our Super Duty plug. Super Duty. I love my radio. Super Duty heatsink over there. So there we go. Just a nice overall. Yeah, them knobs just shine off the gloss on that face. This is a beautiful radio. I like this one. This is probably the nicest looking one we've done since we started working on this stuff again. So, very cool. Okay, here we go. We have a 2000 that was sent to me. The gentleman called me and told me he was having issues with his audio. His transmit audio sounded rough, and his receive audio wasn't in much better shape on sideband especially. And what we found is, you got to realize along the years, lots of people have done probably lots of modifications to these radios. This one, luckily everything that was done pretty nicely, and the radio's been pretty well loved, but there were some errors. It looks to me like at one point somebody did an NPC mod on it And at another point, somebody removed it and didn't get it all out, guys. When you're undoing something that somebody else did, make sure that that whole circuit, get a schematic out, make sure everything matches. And even though this gentleman broke my rule of blue digits in the shop, we are going to go ahead and fix it. So this is what we're going to do. We are going to, because of that mod being screwed up, turns out he's got an audio chip that's about ready to go kaboom. And 1 8-volt line on his 8-volt regulator chip right there is intermittent. So we're going to put a new 8-volt regulator, a new audio chip, a new AM power regulator, and then we're going to realign it and give him the seconds on his clock. And then in shipping, his Echo board controls here. This got busted and the tin got messed up, so we also do body work, so I'm going to straighten this tin out. And then what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take my Dremel and make a square out of here. And then I'm going to take an old face that's not messed up, and I'm going to cut that square out of there, and I'm actually going to glue this silver ring to the back of this panel. So when I put this panel on, you're never going to know it was messed up. So after all of that, we are going to, what did I do with his amplifier? There it is. After all of that, we are going to put a 30 amp power supply in his external speaker, and he gets one of these. Now this board is made for his radio. We haven't heat sinked it yet. Single 2SC 2290, built right here at 409 Radios by the loving hands of myself. It's a very nice piece. When he's done, he'll have variable power, 10 turn counter on his clarifier to make the counter a lot more stable. And then we're going to do some body work, straighten out the front, and we're going to put the module in. Now the way we put the modules in now, if you can see on mine, it's kind of hard. See the aluminum right there? That's actually this module mounted in there like this. Okay, so you don't see it. Now what happens is when he wants to run regular CB power, say he wants to drive a Phantom or something, he puts this on CB and it puts the radio on regular CB power. Basically, it's your standby switch for the Super Duty board. So when you want the 30 to 40 watts of RMS and 75 a swing, you flip this down, so it's optional. So that's where he's going with this, and we are on it. And keep an eye out. We got a lot of projects going on. We've got a couple of more Super Duty 2s come in. We've got a DAC 9 here already commissioned and gone. That one's going to have 148 chassis and a Super Duty 2 board, 30 amp power supply. This guy over here, he's getting a nice monster. This is another DAC 9 chassis. However, we will be sticking a Superstar, I believe it's a 3300 HP in there with the 6LQ6 final. So we have a lot of projects going on at the shop. We've been kind of neglecting our media, but we're trying to catch up. So Steve Thompson, I don't remember where he's from, with your funky blue digits. We're going to work around him, close my eyes maybe, put on some glasses to shade him a different color, and get your radio all straightened out. Now, guys, look, when you get one of these radios, I'm going to show you something. Okay? When you get in here, let's see if I can find it without the camera first. Okay. I think we're close. Alright. Right here. It's TR32. A lot of books and a lot of stuff online tells you to pull that. And while yes, it does totally eliminate any AM modulation control, it also kills any hope of turning your sideband ALC up and down, which means your sidebands rail constantly whether you want them to or not. So, especially when we're putting a Super Duty board in there, um, his whole mod circuit's going to be gone through and put back to stock. And the only thing that will be controlling his modulation is that guy right there. It's the only thing that should ever be controlling modulation on Cobra 2000. If you've clipped this transistor out, or something, you're done. So this is it. Keep an eye out for it. We'll get on some photos on the webpage soon. Thanks, guys. All right, everybody. Here we go. Another Super Duty 2. Well, this is a new one. This is utilizing the board that we build here now, the single 2SC2290. It's installed pretty much the same as every other one. This gentleman, I believe, is from Ohio, and he sent the radio originally here with the complaint that nobody could understand him, and his receive audio was a little rough. So we were, and that's minor stuff. We took care of that stuff for him, and then he got to talking about the conversion. So he ends up getting a full-blown conversion. Now, he had all this blue light stuff done somewhere else, and we didn't upset anybody. He likes it. What we did do for him, though, when the radio arrives, if you look at the earlier videos, you'll see this control is laying inside the radio, and this tin is all tore up. We body worked the front of the radio, fixed the hole, put the controls back in. All that's back solid again. Another issue he had, which everybody who has a Cobra 2000 has, is when the counter works, it drives you wonky because it drifts all over the place. We can say here now, I've put a 10 turn. Somebody had opened the clarifier on this one, so he only got a single 10 turn. But I set this thing to 5.0. We can say for the next 3 days that fucking counter is not going to move. That's the way you stabilize a 2000. Now, let's get to the Super Duty part. For years, everybody says, yes, I love the way a 2000 sounds. Until they look at it on a watt meter and they get their feelings hurt. 11 to 18 watts. But it's the audio quality that you're after. So what we've done is just found a way to make it compete with the Galaxies and everything else by building the board that we built. So let me give you a demonstration here. This is my coaxial dynamics slug meter, same thing as a bird. Okay, we've got him a standby switch. His CBPA has been turned into a standby. So when he's on PA, he's knocking their teeth out. When he's on CB, he's normal power. He can run whatever amp he wants with it. So let's look at regular CB power. Okay. 18 watts. Okay. So now we're not going to touch anything. We're just going to go over here and flip the Super Duty board on, and then that's 100 watts all day long, right out of the back of a friggin' 2000. So stop complaining about the 11 watts, guys. Just send them here, and you'll have a 2000 that'll eat a Galaxy alive. This one's got variable power. I can turn this thing down with the board on and get a 1 watt dead key and still swing 111 watts, and the board never gets warm. You guys that are keeping these radios, you really need to seriously consider getting this conversion done to it, because it does nothing but prolong the life of these units. So, Steve Thompson in Ohio, your radio no longer has the blues. The audio is perfectly clear. We combed your audio, we put the 10 turn counter in, we put the kit in. We got your seconds working on your clock. So we appreciate your business. Everybody else, if you've got a 2000 and it don't do this, then you're going to the wrong place. Stay safe, everybody. 7-3.